Hey folks, how you doing? It's you may hear a little bit of leaky issues going on right behind me. There's a gutter that's emptying out onto a an overturned bucket, and it's just sort of making this constant rattle noise. We're getting snow. Who knew temperatures could shift like this and weather could change? The scientists, that's who. This is some big ass, sloppy, nonstop snow we're getting here. We don't get this kind of thing in the valley very much. But we do deal with snow every once in a while. Every couple of years, it seems like we get enough to, the kids try to build a snowman outside, and it ends up looking like just somebody built a rock cairn, you know. I'll put a picture up. A rock cairn. Don't do this. Don't. When you're out on a nature hike, the idea is to not leave traces of human beings behind. So don't do whatever this is, please. My mother, who lives in an area where people hike a lot, can't stand them, and she will madly kick them over and make sure that all the rocks are dissipated. And she's in her 80s. So see, there's still use. I can say that because my mom doesn't watch the show very often. So there'll be a little test there. Let's see if she texts me and says, not funny. As with all days sort of like this, here in the Pacific Northwest, we do get a lot of precipitation and stuff. So indoor things are a good thing to do. And I've been actually working on other episodes, working on watching some different movies I've been reviewing. So those will all be coming up because I've reached about my, usual 3 views. But anyway, what I thought I would do today is release some die cast from its cardboard encasements, at least in this case, because M2 cars come with a nice plastic dust case when you buy them like this. The ones on the big cards, not necessarily. They just come with a platform which, says what it is right down here in the yellow, okay? If you're unfamiliar with M2, I really like this brand. And every once in a while, they slip a little bit on quality control, so please watch what you buy. As with everything, please watch what you are purchasing because there may be a loose part in there. You don't know. So pick it up, shake it around, take a look at it. Don't be violent with it because it's the store's until you purchase it. Then you can do what you want. Put it on the train tracks. Don't put things on the train tracks. It's not good for the trains, honestly. And it's no good for what you put on the train tracks. Anyway, don't be juvenile delinquents out there and then say, oh, the guy on Monkey Shine Labs and put it on the train tracks. Oh, it did. Please don't. But anyway, we're going to open this, and then I've got another piece of diecast that I actually ordered that will be also opened up because I've been wanting to take a look at this brand and specifically this model that they make. So stick around for yet another. And it's not M2. It's a completely different brand. But anyway, what we're talking about here is M2. These boxes are actually really nice. And with the packaging, you can actually see everything that you're purchasing, with the exception of the backside, okay? So sometimes they will still hide blemish. You will find stuff when you open it. It's a different experience taking something out of the packaging and having it out where you can actually feel it in 3D, Who was I watching recently that opened something because they don't usually, and was just really taken aback by what a different experience it is as a collector to have something open. Like, wow. But anyway, this is this Plymouth that I picked up, Barracuda, and I've got a few that are like this, but the livery for this stuck out in my head for so long, and I just like this thing lived rent free in my head for a very long time. And at the time, there were only 2 of them in the store over here by me, and you shouldn't expect any more than what you see on a given day. But you know, I don't really have any product affiliation with it. I don't enjoy Plymouth over any other American brand necessarily, but except for Chevy, I'll take a Studebaker over Chevy. I'll take anything over Chevy, but that's a discussion for another time. This I do like Plymouth muscle cars, and I'm not a big fan of hood scoops, but this one's kind of low to the hood, so I think it's kind of sharp. I think it's really sharp, actually. But I'm not going to keep this in the cardboard surround. Okay, I'm going to take that off, and you know, I don't have my. I saw my craft knife the other day. I did. Maybe it was a dream. It was a fever dream that my little green knife came back to me. Maybe that was it. But anyway, I really like, and you can, by the way, you can purchase these top dust covers in generics and stuff like that on you know, like Amazon even, and stuff like that. So if you do end up buying some of M2's stuff that's on a card and you want to get it off of the card, but you still want to have some dust protection for the car itself, then you can order these. There's a little bit of scuffing on the top there, which I'll see if I can. It'll buff right out. But this is such a pretty vehicle. And again, if you can see down there, they're kind of screwed to the base unless you remove said screw, which I don't. I keep them on the base so that the M2, it's just a really neat way to display them. You can stack them like this, okay? I love the mags on the wheels. The thing looks like it's just about to raise up on its back wheels to me. This has a motion to it. And these come off so that you can actually look at all of the stuff without having to look through plastic. But to see the fun graphics on it. And again, these are very, very well finished cars, but do take a look at these front triangular windows that are right there. Oftentimes I've seen those not fit quite so well. I got some really nice ones on this, I think. But a really beautiful livery, and of course, as you can see, because the hood is a little bit up right now, the hood does raise up, and then you have a not so detailed engine in there. That, you know, they draw the line at some detail, I guess. These are not the beautiful pieces of die cast that Nazar has been showing lately. That fits down nicely back on there. I don't even mind a little bit of a hood pop, you know? I might pop the hood and leave it that way under the plastic. These are not the high end that Nazar has, but these are also findable in the wild by any old Joe or Josette. So if you're looking for those M2, I really like them. I think that they're decent for the money. And when main lines are going up to now some, between $2 and $4, depending on if they're, those semi boulevards, or I don't even know what they call them, but they justify tacking another $1 or $2 on there, which for a 164 car with very little detail in the finality, it's Naz and I have been talking about it a lot, and we kind of I liken mainline anything, mainline Matchbox, mainline Hot Wheels, any of those sort of mass-produced cars. Kind of call it like the McDonald's of diecast. And once you've been consuming diecast for a few years, your palate can shift. Mine did. When I was initially about this, I was very much about the Hot Wheels brand. And I still do. The show yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't even know. I bought a bunch of mainline all of a sudden out of nowhere, and I was really excited about it. So that's like that's a episode or two back. And that is your reminder, kids, not to smoke tobacco. So my next piece of diecast is this Barracuda. I specifically wanted Lewis Hamilton's car, okay? And the liveries that are available in the stores right now are sort of the silver alternate version of this particular livery. So I ordered this off of Amazon. I had it in my queue for a whole long time, and then when you have things in your queue, sometimes the prices will fluctuate, sometimes greatly so. There's a Roger Corman set I'm gonna maybe purchase today, which has been at $18, solid $18, has dropped down to $7.50. That's a dramatic savings, and when you're talking about 4 films, that becomes worth it. So anyway, I paid a little more for this, but I did get a coupon percentage off. These are currently being sold in my Fred Meyer, which is a Kroger affiliate. These are currently being sold in my Fred Meyer for like $7. I paid $10 for this. So I overpaid ordering online, but I wanted what I wanted specifically. And I'm going to show you where maybe it honestly didn't matter if I had ordered Lewis Hamilton's car or his teammate George Russell here. That's George Russell. That's Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's a champion driver. He's the sort of gifted driver that comes along once in a generation, kind of the new Michael Schumacher in a way. Just a really, really excellent technician behind the wheel with a fantastic team behind them. So I'm looking forward to watching the Mercedes team, though I don't like Mercedes. Reasons. Anyway, you can't choose who your driver drives for. I had to wear t-shirts with Miller Lite stuff on it when I was a Rusty fan. And then Kurt Busch came along and was in the Miller Lite car for a little while. I don't drink, let alone when I did drink, I did not drink Miller Lite. Question for you. What does Miller Lite have in common with sex in a canoe? Answer. They're both close to water. All right. Let's talk about this piece of die-cast and I'll let you go. So anyway, this has a nice little quality assured Mercedes official product sticker on it, and a nice little picture of Hamilton. And in the back there, you can see Lewis and old George sitting over the car itself. First criticism of these, and it's not necessarily a criticism of the quality that I'm going to see when I open the box, but this box is very light. Now, F1 cars are seriously light vehicles, okay? It is said too that with the aerodynamics of an F1 car, it has so much downforce that if it were able to continue in a straight line, it could drive upside down, like invert on a surface and stick to the ceiling, just by its own aerodynamics and velocity that it's able to attain. I don't know that to be true, but it sounds like a hell of a claim. Anything that you see, by the way, anything you see in consumer automobiles in the last 40 odd years, all of the innovations have started right here at F1. F1 technology has drifted its way down, whether it's anti-locking brake systems, whether it's CPU-controlled fuel, whether it's dashboard and paddle control on the wheel, harnessing, all sorts of things. Aerodynamics, of course. All sorts of things come from the millions and millions and millions of dollars in R&D that goes into making these real cars. So it is the pinnacle of automotive sport to a lot of folk. Some people say, well, there's no mud involved, so, what fun could it possibly be? I don't know. But I am following F1 this year, and so I kind of wanted one of these around. Okay? Enough talking. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I am not going to destroy this box because the box actually kind of looks like a very stackable square commodity, and it will keep the dust off of a very intricate surfaced vehicle. But let's take a look here at what goes on with the packaging. Box is very easy to either recycle, and it is stamped. If you see that plastic is stamped with a number 8 or something, I don't know. Recycling by and large does not happen anymore, but that's another diatribe to get me on. Okay, so in the package there's a nice little sort of grandstand display which keeps the car on an angle, which is a nice viewing angle for this. On the bottom we have 2 small screws which hold the vehicle to this base, and I think I would like to take this off of here so that I can get more, well, actually, okay, for right now, because the screwdriver's right there. I'm just being lazy, folks. I love this display. I don't know that I'm going to take it off of here, and I can get a sort of a tactile experience by just sort of touching it. When just weighing the actual car, that is a good chunk of metal for your money. Right? You want a review? I'm going to give you a review. So what are you up to today? What are you up to today with this weather we're having? It only looks like one screw, actually, so that's even less work. I don't mind. Very easy to remove with my cheap ass micro driver set. Okay, so on the plastic, you have one side is a screw, one side is simply a post to keep that car centered. Okay. So I'm going to set that to the side because I'm going to put that back together. I am going to keep this car away from the elements because I care. But, okay, sort of holding it up now. The undercarriage is plastic, okay? But it looks as though that is actually removable quite easily. But with these are newer design than when I was first watching the sport, obviously. These cars are so evolved in terms of their design, it blows me away. Rubber tires, or at least an extremely soft plastic, but I believe that is rubber. Feels like rubber. The deco on the car is beautiful. And you say, well, how do you know this is Lewis Hamilton's car? The number in between the front tires there is, if you can see, 44. The reason why I said it doesn't really necessarily matter if I bought this car or, say, George's version of it, which was available but maybe less desirable because of that one printing, okay? But it says 44 on the nose of the car right there. And then it also has a 44 right up here on the engine housing, okay? Very, very, very small difference. And probably, if you were careful, very easily alterable so that I could have made George's car into Lewis's car. To quote Dolly Parton, "I'd turn you from a rooster to a hen with one shot." 9 to 5. But this is a rocket ship, okay? These cars to me are some of the most amazing design. And I have always enjoyed watching the sport. I got away from it because I really became a devoted NASCAR fan for a while. And at the time too, F1 had some troubles getting their races acclimated to America. A couple of real non-starter events when they first tried to introduce F1 back into America as one of the stops in the world where they race. They race everywhere with these things. And again, they spend millions and millions of dollars per season to get these details and to get the car to produce everything that it can on the track for the driver. Oh, just pretty. I'm sorry my hands are shaking, but it's kind of it's a rocket ship. It is a rocket ship. Beautiful stuff. I became a devoted NASCAR fan, and I'm also a big fan of that because of the technology. My reasons for stopping watching stock car racing have nothing to do with an appreciation for the science behind it. A much different thing with advertisers and other things that I have issue with. But this year, I am going to follow F1, at least from a distance. They show some of it here on our broadcast television, and then they show some others that are on ESPN only, of course, so I'll probably miss those. I don't pay for cable TV. I have other things to do. And I don't follow sport very much. I've learned to watch football games on the YouTube condensments. It's like 10, 12 minutes and you're done watching the game. You can do something else with your time. Yeah, I know. I'm not a very ardent fan, am I? What can I tell you? I have other interests. Right, Harv? Harvey's been down here being a very good boy, haven't you? You have. I love you. It probably won't last. But right now, love affair. Okay, folks, that's what I've got for you today. A couple of pieces of die-cast. And I really appreciate it when you come around and visit the old man in his creaky chair. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe. Remember to check out our friendly stations like Nostalgic and First 117. First 117 Resale and Shelby Street Diecast. That's just two creators doing all that. Well, it's only one. Andre doesn't make videos anymore. Andre, video. But we'll have something again for you tomorrow. I am certain of that fact. What it is at this point, I'm kind of wondering, though. I don't know. But it's a couple of minutes to the premiere of Nas and Maggie going out peg hunting. So if you weren't in that premiere, hello to you now and whatever else. I will talk to you again later, folks. Take it easy.